Uh, Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing today?
Couldn't be
It's
better.
Morning. Yeah, doing great. I
Glad to hear
doubled
it.
my output this week.
It's progress.
Yeah.
More, more. You guys ever seen the Simpsons episode where Homer is like he's in hell and they're like giving him donuts and like that's his punishment, like endless donuts. And they're like,
Nom, nom, nom.
yeah, and he goes, more. And the devil's like, what? Yeah, it's hilarious.
And the devil is his neighbor.
Yeah, that's right. Is that show still on, by the way? I mean, is this still new episodes? It's been on forever. Hmm. Make co-host. All right, we have a backup now. All right, we'll be kicking off here in a second. Announcement, if you haven't heard it already, I am kicking off my YouTube channel at 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern. So there's a kind of like a watch party. So at the end of this, at the end of the hour, we'll jump over to the YouTube channel, which is the link I'll provide here as well, but the link's in the school post. And you guys can I'll watch the premiere of my first YouTube video on my new channel together, and we can have chats, talk about if you agree or disagree or have improvements or whatever. We can just hang out in a couple different places today.
Is it content that we could possibly disagree with?
Maybe. What I want you to do is make comments. That's all I care.
Okay.
Like the best thing you can do for me is make comments.
All right. You want honest comments?
I want engagement. Yeah, yeah. Honest comments and engage.
Okay.
It's the first time I'm actually doing one of these YouTube premieres. That's what they call it. So it's like you schedule a video that's going to go live, and then when it goes live at noon Eastern, then it's everybody who watches it live can comment, and I'll be in there commenting as well.
So what other comments are there but honest ones?
Yeah, no contrived. The ones that I give you ahead of time, those would not be the honest ones.
Be careful.
So how long is your premiere?
It's like 25 minutes.
What's the name of your channel?
Paul David Thompson. But if you want to find the link, you can go into the school group and there's a post and you can just click right on the link. Probably a good idea for me to go find that actually. Let's see, I'll go find it.
Me too.
Are you doing
Let's
the
see.
launch professionally or just by yourself?
Just by myself, yeah.
Right.
Copy
Well,
link.
look, he's already got his professional presence there. Good lighting, good
Yeah.
background. So
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So here's the chat. Let me send it to everybody. So here's the link to the actual YouTube video. If you click on that now, when you go over there, it will say in about an hour's time, this thing launches. So we'll finish up the Coffee with Paul here in about 55 minutes, and then we'll jump over there and watch it live.
Cool.
So in the meantime, what's happening?
I'd like to announce to the group something.
Go ahead, Brother Paul.
Yeah, I'm in the Tampa Bay area, and Steve is working with me. We were thinking about let's get a group of people around Tampa to like meet up once a month.
Love it.
So we haven't gotten through the particulars, but I'm just going to be sending out an invite to anybody in the Tampa area. We're going to try to pick an area where everybody would have the shortest commute to get to that meeting and then spend like an all day Saturday or something like that.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah. So Steve and I just talked about it last week, and we were, just shooting back and forth, like, what can we do, what time? And I just got a message from Steve this morning So we're getting the particulars set up, and I'm going to make an announcement in the school group.
Love it.
See anybody who's like I know Harvey's nearby. I think Gordon's nearby. So I was going to shoot to anybody who wants to get involved, and then we can schedule a meetup. So
Let's do it.
yeah, that's the big message for me today.
Love it. So, and I'm not sure if you are aware of this yet. I'm gonna share my screen and show you something in school. So when you come in school, here's the announcement I'm talking about, the YouTube launch. Also, if you're trying to find people in your area, you can go over to the map,
Right.
Okay.
and then now you can zoom into your area. So if you want the Tampa area, looks like there's about 7 of you or 5 of you in the area. So Spring Hill, all the way to Sarasota. So there's at least 5 of you in the paid group. Now you can also go to the free group, which has 2,100 people now and growing. You go to the map over there, and you'll find, probably a whole lot more.
Oh,
There's
cool.
like 26 people
Cool.
and so if you want to, you can even say you can just reach out to somebody and say, you can chat with them, say, hey, we're having this thing coming up, and pick your date, write your time, and you have your details. You can make your post in the community, and then you can also do individual shout outs and say, because it's not something we're trying to charge for, right? It's just come hang out, right?
Right. Yeah,
Right.
I'm gonna look around and see, once we get an idea of who's coming, then I can
Sure.
see the person furthest away, and
Love
then kind of split that time in half so nobody has a 3 or 4 hour drive.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So, for those of you who want to be able to bounce between the free and the paid group, or if you're a dream partner, you can go to your thing up here and go to I think it's settings, and then under communities, you can use this little thing right here to turn off your pinned
I'm not seeing
locations.
where here.
Uh,
Cursor's moving too fast for me.
okay, so when you go to settings,
Gotcha.
and then the first one is communities,
Right.
and then there are all the communities you're a member of. I'm a member of a bunch. Will be here,
Gotcha.
and you can use this little thumbtack, I guess it's called,
Gotcha.
and it bookmarks it over here on the left, which makes it really easy for you to hop between different school communities. And you can have up to 8 bookmarks.
Okay. How's that different than when I'm in the Deal Finder school, and then up at the top? Yeah.
Same. It's just faster.
Same difference. Okay.
Yeah. If you prefer to just do it like this, you can.
Yeah.
So if you're only a member of 2 or 3 groups, it's probably fine. You can just do it like that.
Right.
Um,
Gotcha.
I'm a member of a bunch of groups. I'm in school all day, so being able to hop between these is pretty nice.
Yeah. I'm limiting my time to sit on the school. I do it mostly late at night because I want to spend most of my time during the day reaching out to brokers.
How are you gonna get your fire status that way?
Say again?
I was like, how are you gonna get your fire status that way?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm trying. I just don't want to spend so much time, looking around.
So I'm just messing with him. So guys,
Letter of intents first.
exactly. That is priority for sure.
Well, contracts first. I mean, that's what I'm working for.
Yeah. So if you go to your profile like this, it shows your activity. So that's
Right.
what we're talking about.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so
Hmm.
if I want to find out how active somebody is, I go over here to the maps. And I want to see how active somebody is. Let's see if I can find other Paul. There's Steve. I'll pick on Steve. I'll go to his profile. We can see how active he is in school. So, and an activity is a like or a comment, I believe.
Now, how's that activity? How do you get that out? I mean, where does that originate from?
Anytime you do a like or a comment is anywhere in school is considered an activity.
Oh, I see. Okay.
A post, a like, Yeah. A comment back to somebody.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. I was gonna say, I got more business going on than that, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's funny. Sometimes I'll think for sure I've been busy on there, and I'll go out there and I'll have 7 activities, and so I may have spent a long time on one post, but that was only one activity, right?
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I've been doing. I'm getting
You
on.
have been posting some good posts, Paul. Thanks.
Not a problem.
Excellent stuff.
Some
Awesome.
some good wise man posts. Very good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Surely you
Okay.
jest.
Yeah. You say surely I rest?
No, surely you jest.
Oh, yeah, it's funny.
Well, I got something I'd like to talk about if somebody wants to talk about a deal.
Sure. We have one request from Harvey as well, and then
That's
you have
fine.
something you want to talk to? Yeah. And we have about 45 minutes left, so I think that'd probably be a good use of the time.
Okay.
Steve, is your thing quick, or do you want me to do analysis for you?
Maybe you might have to just verify.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So I went to view a RV park. Real quick, clip notes.
Uh-huh.
And Louisiana, and it's 104. It's 104 pads. For the most part, it's probably 70%, maybe 80% full. It was pretty packed in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, make a long story short, here are the numbers.
Okay, let me share my screen real quickly. We'll see if this works for a mobile home park or not.
Well, they don't want to do financing. I took this in and I
Okay,
went
so
through a couple of different reiterations. Matter of fact, I sent that to Oliver and I sent that to you, I think, Paul.
go ahead.
But anyway, yeah, they don't want to do any financing whatsoever. He wants cash.
Okay.
And here, the two people that own this park are gas station guys. They own gas stations, and
Okay.
what they have is they have the ability to buy a couple more gas stations, so they want cash instead of financing.
Sure.
So
Sure.
to say that, all right, now what you want, the revenue?
Yep.
All right, revenue. The revenue's 425,603.
So this is 104 units, you said?
Yes.
And what's the average revenue per unit?
Oh, you were going to ask me that. I had that. Doggone it. Because in that as other expenses was a 19,089 as well, but I'll factor that in. But
Okay,
anyway,
here, 19,000. Go ahead.
is the other
Okay.
income. All
Okay.
right. And now the expenses are fairly
Well,
high.
no.
Oh.
Just tell me average revenue per
Oh, sorry,
per unit per month.
Okay, gotcha. I had that at one time.
I mean, is it $100 or 500 or?
That's
3% vacant.
it's 400. 400.
400. Okay, we were close.
Yeah.
400, and let's see, expense ratio is for like what, 35%? Okay, so what did you say the NOI was that you came up with?
The NOI that I come up with was what I come up with, that cheat sheet that you guys had at one time,
Well, what was the number you just said a few minutes ago?
the extra income.
No, just the NOI that you mentioned a second ago.
I mentioned the NOI. I didn't know if I did that.
Well,
Anyway,
let's just get to the facts. Like, what's the NOI? So anytime we're doing an analysis, like I'm going to ask the same questions in the same
Okay.
order.
All right,
Like
gotcha.
it's from the spreadsheet.
From that spreadsheet.
Yeah, like units, revenue, vacancy rate, expense ratio, other income, boom. So we got most of it. We just I just want to see.
I'll tell you that. I'll tell you. I got it.
I just want to see if we're close on the NOI.
25,316.
25,316. Is that per month or per year?
Per month.
Okay. So we did 40%. No, let's do wrong way. 30%. Okay. We're close. I'm got it about at a little short, close to 25. So, and this
Okay.
is what they told you their NOI is, or what you've calculated their NOI
No,
to
what
be?
I calculate.
What have they told you their NOI is?
They told me that the NOI was $30,000 a month, roughly.
Okay.
So
So
it's
you're a
pretty
little,
close. I'm a little bit more specific, but it's pretty
yeah,
close.
let's see. So let's call it, what is it, 18%? 15%? Yeah. Okay, we'll call it 16. So, um, and did they give you actuals?
Yeah,
Like the T12 that said this is what their revenue was last year?
yes, that's what I'm going off of.
Okay. And so their revenue was how much actually?
425,603.
425,603. And then their expenses were how much?
352,536.
What? That seems really high.
Yeah, it is. Um, and it's really I question that.
It's like 75%.
No, I know. That's what I said. The expenses are high. I
Okay.
had it at 80% roughly.
Well
And
then, but then they told you their NOI was 25,000 a month.
yes, correct. Yeah. Here is the kicker. Now I'm an RV guy. Okay. I've got a 40 footer I pull around all the time
Yep.
in the summer.
Yep.
Bottom line is there's some cash that isn't registered as part of this whole thing. And he said it could be anywhere from 9 to 12,000 a month.
Oh, so he's collecting cash deposits and he's not
Correct.
recording it.
Not recording it. So it's in addition to that, but that's a he said as I explained to him, that's a he said she said. That
Yeah,
doesn't
it's like
help
you don't get
with-
credit for that. That's
No,
like
right. That's right.
That's
Yeah.
like that's your own fault. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And
All
I
right.
s-
So let's
so
get
it-
down to like they want a cash offer. So
Yes.
have you talked to any lenders about what they would lend on a mobile home park?
I started sending that out yesterday.
Because I don't know what the going rates are for mobile home parks. They can be tricky. Like you won't get a 70% ratio. You're going to get more like a 50% loan to value ratio for a mobile home park.
RV.
Is this RV or a mobile home?
RV.
Okay, okay. Um, Even so, I think you might get you may not get a bank loan as easily.
Okay.
But I don't know. So, I mean, that's not my specialty. So I would reach out to local lenders in the Louisiana area and because I would love to own an RV park in Louisiana personally because I'm not that far from it.
Right.
So, I mean, I might be one of the buyers, right? And there's certainly other people in the group that might be a buyer. Where in Louisiana is this?
Hammond, right outside of Baton Rouge.
Yeah, yeah. I grew up in Texarkana. I know exactly where it is.
All right, right at I-12 and I-55.
Yeah, great location for an RV park. I mean, that place would crush. I bet they are doing $9,000 to $10,000 a month in cash deposits.
Well, and they're 70 to 80% full. And I was thinking, I'm looking around and the reviews weren't really hot, but they just said, hey, look, we're getting out of the business because we're not RV guys. We
Yeah,
haven't put
and
any
it is a
marketing
thing,
in
right?
there.
It's its own thing to manage, right?
It is, but
Yeah.
there's a lake in there. There's there's 8 additional acres that are open.
What are they asking for?
3.2.
They want 3.2,
Yeah.
and based on your analysis, what do you think?
4.4 what I come up with 4.5 is what I come up with the cheat sheet without including the extra. cash.
You think it's worth 4.5 and they're offering 3.2?
I think it shows using the model, it shows that it could be worth 4.5.
Got it.
Now, there's got to be some, that's more of a pro forma.
Yeah.
That's next day. I think 3.3, 3.5 is what I come up with today's value.
So, based on your analysis of today's value, which is what, 25? So let's do 25
You do that
times
times 7
12.
or divided by 7, a cap rate 7.
Yeah, I don't know if I would buy a mobile home park in Louisiana for a 7 cap though.
I always use that as a ballpark.
Like, yeah, I mean, they're not crazy off though. I mean, but just based on their actuals of 25,000 of collected receipts,
Yep.
that's $25,000 a month,
Right.
and 3,000, and even at a 10 cap, it's worth 3. I tend to think mobile home parks in Louisiana are more like a 9 to 10, 11 cap situation, not a 7 cap. Because there's just little appreciation with a mobile home or RV park, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Especially in Louisiana, it's just like it's not the hottest area, right? Um, so I think that what determines my offer would be what I could borrow money for.
Okay.
And
Right.
I haven't personally shopped RV park loans in a while. Has anybody else here done that? That's fine. What I would do is make some phone calls
Mhm.
in the area. Like, are you from Louisiana or from Florida?
No,
Okay.
I've got some contacts in there. As a matter of fact, I've got a construction guy over there as well. He's
Okay.
kind of
Yeah.
working with me as far as,
So use your local contacts and find some local lenders in the
right.
area. Trying to think if I know anybody down there. I don't. Um, but I know there's a lot of banks in Texas that lend in Louisiana, so I would try that as well. Like East
Okay.
Texas banks will lend in Louisiana.
Okay.
Um, and you're looking for like the regional commercial banks, local credit unions, commercial banks kind of thing. Um,
Hey, Paul,
and
I just did a quick Google search and loan to value bank loans for RV park, and it came up with a one for going through SBA where they can get as high LTV as 85 to 90 through the,
do RV parks qualify for SBA loans?
it sure looks like it according to Google search.
Yeah. Um, See, that's a lot of real estate does not qualify for SBA loans, but RV parks might, Steve, because they look at it more like a business than like
Right.
a real estate. There's something to that. Like, but the prevailing interest rates for SBA loans are like, well, in fact, I know for a fact that RV parks will work for SBA loans because I was involved in one here in Arkansas recently, um, with Rachel. So yeah, she's bought properties with SBA loans.
And I put that information in the chat for you, Steve.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Good. Thank you.
Here, let me paste that everywhere.
Hey guys, I was reading a paper from I can't remember what bank it was, but they released their underwriting changes. And traditionally, mobile home parks, I don't know how it relates to RVs, but mobile home parks, they usually only lent on the numbers coming off the pad. And now they're looking at including income from park owned
Really?
homes. Yeah. So, and they restrict to newer, like say the last 15 years as far as the age of the mobile home, but they're including that income, so that changes a lot.
Yeah, it
Where'd you
does.
find that, Paul?
I'm sorry.
Where'd you find that?
I don't know. I have to look it up. I do a lot of reading on like Globest. They do a lot of different type papers.
Yeah, you can just when you do find that, you can just post that in the community, Paul.
Yeah, I do. And
It'd be
some
great.
of the stuff that's relevant, like, mostly, I don't know, I've been posting a bunch of stuff like how to look up crime. And, I sent one up to Harvey because he was looking at a property that could be sketchy over in Belle Glade in Florida.
Mhm.
And, I find a lot of that kind of stuff, and then if I find it's relative to the group, I throw it up there. But yeah, I just read it yesterday, and I want to verify with another, bank. I don't know if it's that specific type bank. It was a local bank, but they said
Okay,
they
so for Steve, did you do you have your next action?
Yes.
Yeah, you cool?
Yeah, I am. As a matter of fact, I reached out and I talked to the contractor guy as far as who he might recommend over there as far as
Perfect.
banks are concerned.
Yeah, you
Um,
use your network, find your banker,
Well,
and then we can plug in numbers like SBA or local lender,
yeah,
because a local bank will give you a better interest rate. SBA is like 11% these days, so
Okay.
it might get, like, if this is 11% interest rate, then it gets expensive fast.
yeah, I know, and I'm going to probably need some help because one of the things that I found, remember that property in Arkansas we talked about a long time ago?
Yeah, yeah.
What I found out is experience.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to need some help with this one probably.
You may have, yeah, you're gonna have to come partner with somebody to qualify,
Correct.
or
Correct.
a wholesale or whatever, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because even if you pay 11% interest at a 70% loan to value, which is what this is hard coded for,
Yeah.
there's just no cash flow at that price. So like
Right.
it's really really low.
Now that's a straight purchase, and is
Yeah,
that
it's just purchase. Yeah,
now
this is the
where'd
bank
you
test.
oh
The
where'd you
second
put
tab.
oh
Right.
okay, gotcha. All right,
Yeah,
okay.
and this one's hard coded for 70%. I guess
Oh, that's fine.
we can make that a variable, but
No,
um,
that's just for my purposes, that's kind of what I use anyway. So,
okay.
but I'll
Yeah,
throw
for
it I'll throw it over
multifamily,
the
it makes
fence
sense. Yeah,
after we're through here with your thing too, is I'll throw it over the fence to the community and see what's out there.
perfect, perfect.
Good.
Hari, you got your data ready?
Yes, I do. Yes, I
Okay.
do. Okay, hold on one second. Pull this up. And I have to apologize to other Paul because he heard this yesterday, but I'm not sure if I'm going to actually do this because the area may be sketchy. And this is with the broker who,
Your young fellow.
no, this is the other broker who was kind of upset with me from the LOI from the other day. So I want to make sure I get this right.
Harvey, did you see that post I put up about?
Yes, it was awesome. I need to review it again. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this, but I still wanted to see it in the spreadsheet because I was getting in my head and I couldn't
So what
figure
are the units?
Okay, it's 34 units.
Okay.
34 units. Oh, this is the wrinkle. And I got a text from the broker. They have a $2 or $2.5 million mortgage that is non-assumable. So I'm assuming that means they want a cash out offer. Is that correct?
Most likely.
Okay. I wasn't sure how to do that with
Well,
that mortgage.
let's run through it. Let's just
Right,
put the facts in. Yeah.
34 units. The average rent per unit is 1,380, so 1,380. And I did the 5% vacancy and 45% expense.
Okay. 1380. Sorry. Okay. And you said it was 5% and 45?
Yes, and I got and here's the other thing too. They have that commercial space that's leased, so that's
Yep.
4,000 a month. So that would be 4,800 or 48,000, right?
Of other income?
Yeah, I'm
And that's
assuming. Yeah.
and that's 48 per year?
Yeah.
48,000. Okay. Perfect.
4,000 a month.
Yep. Perfect. Okay. And what's their purchase price, or what you're suggesting?
The purchase price that they have is 4.25 million.
Okay.
Okay. And
It doesn't pass the bank test for it. Okay, wait. What's the interest rate? The prevailing interest rate these days is about 7.5%. So, it's not a machine for the cash or cash return, but like there are people who would buy this as is for what you're just these facts. There are people who would buy this with a bank loan for a 5% return.
Okay.
I mean, we wouldn't, but there are people who would.
There are people who would. Okay. So it does pass the bank test. All right, let me take the screenshot of that.
I'm gonna say so I'm gonna take that same data and put it over here now into the owner financing side. Even though I know they have a wrap, I want to still look into it. So it was 4.25. Um, uh, and then we'll just zero out everything else here. So the down payment, start off with, and how much is their mortgage?
It said she told me 2 to 2.5 million. I couldn't. She
Oh,
wouldn't
so
give me the
pretty high.
percentage. So it's
Um,
getting high.
yeah, it's not gonna work very well. So we probably can't make an owner financing offer with our down payment that's going to pay off their underlying. So
Right.
we need, if we're going to do owner financing, we do need to do a wraparound mortgage.
Okay, and I have no idea how to do that. That's why I'm throwing
Well,
it up.
it does get a little more complicated. Let's
Oh,
do, go ahead.
I mean, we can do a sub two as well, sub two and owner financing combined,
Yeah, that's what a wraparound mortgage is.
you know.
Okay. So 10% down. Do you know what their payment is on the underlying mortgage, Harvey?
That I don't know. Hold on, let me pull up the text. Text is no, all they say is four. Where is this? Hold on, sorry, 1 second. Shoot, I'm sorry. Damn, where is it? I don't know what the percentage is. I'm sorry. It just says 2 to 2.5 million non-assumable.
Okay.
That I don't have that.
Yep. So what we'd have to do is we'd have to make a owner financing offer that has a payment that is aware of the first position. So let's just say it's 15,000. I don't know. I'm just guessing 15,000. So how much room do we have to pay the difference is what we're doing here. So they have an underlying mortgage of 2.5 to 2.5. I'm just making a ballpark guess that their underlying payment is 15. So how much room do we have with a $26,000 monthly NOI to make an extra payment in addition to that?
Looks like we have some room.
Yeah. Yeah.
11 grand.
Exactly. Well, and you want some room for you to be able to make a cash room. So you might be able to go a little higher, actually. You might be able to offer them 5,000. And it kind of works out.
Loan to value is really high.
Yeah, well, this calculation is not aware of the balance of the underlying, so I would ignore that.
Okay. Okay. So something like this could work. So I would say to them, how would I write that in the LOI that you know 20,000 a month?
Well, you need to go find out what their mortgage. I would say I am potentially able to make an offer where I could make your underlying payment. I would need to understand what your underlying payment is, and by doing so, I could get much closer to your asking price, or I can make you a cash offer of whatever we come up with over here, right? Which is like 3.2 million probably. Yeah, probably about that.
Okay.
And so you see how I found the cash offer?
Yeah. You just did 30%. Let's see.
Yeah, the only thing when I'm making cash offers and and the bank is dictating to me the terms, the only number I have to adjust is the purchase price. That's the only thing I have to negotiate with, right?
Okay.
I can't negotiate payment. I can't negotiate interest rate. I can't negotiate financing terms at all.
Okay. Okay.
With a 30% down payment, which is probably what you're going to get, you're going to have to do, a cash offer of 3.2 ish,
Hold that
to
hold
get
that
something
there for a
close.
second, please, so I can screenshot it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Sorry, keep going. Let's keep going.
You got it?
Hold on 1 second. And if you could, let me get this. And 1 second here. Because I wasn't sure what to do because of that mortgage. It was confusing me. And then let me get a screenshot of the other one.
Yep.
Oh, 1 second. Paste. Okay. And
so this is something that I think you should be able to do right now on your own, just to figure out what the cash offer is.
yeah, no, that's not the problem. I can figure out the cash over. I wasn't sure how the
It
cash
gets
offer
more
was
complicated. it gets
Yeah,
more
how it was
complicated.
affected
So
by
here's
that.
your cash offer. Okay, so you got the screenshot?
Yeah, and if you could
Okay.
give me the other one, please.
Okay. So over here is where I want to say, how can I get them their 4.25?
Mhm.
I'm pretty confident that the NOI, so and these numbers you feel comfortable with as far as the revenues and the expenses and such and whatnot.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I do feel
Good.
comfortable with them.
So based on that, their NOI is a little over 26,000. Okay, so we're guessing, we don't know, that their underlying payment for their mortgage is $15,000. I just pulled that out of thin air. I have no idea. It could
Okay.
be 10,000, it could be 20,000. I have no idea.
Okay.
So we really need that number
Okay.
in order for us to be able to make a offer that works for them.
Okay.
And once I have that, then I know how much payment that I can afford to put in, right? And so a 10% down payment is only $425. They may not go for that because they would have to let us finance the difference between 425 and their loan balance.
Mhm.
So 4.25 minus our down payment minus their balance.
Okay. 4.25. I'll write that down. 4.25 minus DP minus balance and balance. I'm sorry, which is the balance? Oh, minus balance of
2.5 or whatever their mortgage balance is, right?
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. That's what we'd have to finance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's say it's 2.5, right? So let's pull up the calculator. Calculator to what? 10BI. Hang on. 10BI. Okay. So here's our calculator, right?
Mhm.
Somewhere. Okay. No, I don't want to leave a review. Okay. So 4.25 minus our 10% down, 425 minus what we're going to assume is $2.5 million because that's just what we've heard.
Mhm.
So they would have to finance the remaining 1.3. And so this calculation that we're doing here is really should be based on, this payment right here should be based on 1.35, not this balance, right? This calculation, this payment schedule, it's almost, I keep trying to not make more tabs, but I might need to make another tab that accounts for the wraparound scenario.
Okay. Hence my confusion.
Well, there's so many different ways a deal can be put together. It's hard to make one calculator to rule them all, right?
Right. Like the one
Because
ring.
because everything's a variable, basically.
Right.
So let me pipe in a little bit, just for my head. Fundamentally, you're looking at that $15,000. I know it's a guess.
Yep.
Monthly payment, and that subtracts from the monthly or the monthly NOI.
Yep.
And then the balance is what they have to finance off of that purchase price, and that's the additional payment that you need to calculate.
So my payment to them is going to be $5,000, and I'm going to make a payment of $15,000 to the underlying bank, right?
Right.
And I make a $5,000 payment to
that's for the 1.3.
That's for the balance of 1.325 exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, so it would be 15 plus the 5. That would be your total payment on the wrap.
Correct.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to straighten that brain out.
That's spot on.
Cool.
And thank you for asking that other Paul, because I wanted to make sure I got it too. So you were asking the same thing I got.
I think it's hilarious that we just all call him Other Paul.
Well, when you're not on the call, he's Paul, but when you're here,
that's hilarious.
That's what's awesome about a name like Harvey. There ain't a whole lot of us.
There's not a lot of our Harveys around.
So yeah, I usually don't find a bunch of Pauls either. So
me either.
New one, but you're the host, so everybody asks Paul, and I'm like, okay, I'm Other Paul.
Paul Thompson's the OG Paul. So there you
go. Well, it's funny is I went to get my own domain of paulthompson.com, and it turns out that's actually a much more common name than I realized. And when I went to get my tires replaced recently, like in this zip code, there were 3 Paul Thompsons. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't know there were so many of me.
I went to graduate school with a guy named John Smith.
Oh man, can you imagine?
He was like, Harv, you have no idea what I have to go through to get a hotel room or to rent a car or get a plane ticket.
Nobody believes he's real.
Yeah, exactly. I know when I was underage, I used that name to buy beer. So
When I was a kid growing up, there was another Paul in our hangout group, and my middle initials H, so I got a PhD, and so they started calling me Doc.
there you go.
So that was my,
There you go.
That's how
my
nicknames happen.
name, and
So
then
for this LOI,
okay.
for this LOI, would I just say, hey, I'd break it out 15,000 for your mortgage, and assuming that's what it is, and then 5,000 to you for the remaining financing?
Yes, but I wouldn't actually write. You're right, Harvey. But I wouldn't actually write an LOI until I knew what their payment was,
Right,
because
right,
we're just swinging in the wind, right? So,
right, exactly.
once we find that out, then you adjust the numbers based on, yeah.
Okay.
So would
I
the
wasn't sure how
term
to do it.
matter? Would the term matter on that?
Yeah, a lot.
I mean, the longer you have, it's thinking it's a pay down, but I mean, it's really what they're.
Yeah, if they're what he's asking about is when is the what's the interest rate, what's the payment, and then when does the term expire? Meaning, does the
That
balloon
second
pop in a year or two?
Right.
And the longer it is, the better it is for us.
Gotcha.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So that's okay. So that's another good question. What if their mortgage, now we've got this up here as 10 years. What if the rest of the payment was due in like 5? What would we have
Well,
to do?
5, I wouldn't be too worried about.
Okay.
What I'd be worried about, because I would just make the adjustment for 5, right?
Oh, okay.
If it's a year and a half from now or 2 years from now, I'm like, ugh, no. This starts to be not a deal I'm excited about anymore.
And you know, as other Paul said, Peter made a comment too yesterday. This may be in a sketchy area, so I've got to.
Yeah. So you need to look into, do you even want this property?
But I need
Harvey,
to know how to use the sheet. Yeah.
Harvey, how confident are you on that 1,300? The rent.
No, I'm confident on that. That's from their OM.
Okay, well, that pushes the property up towards the northeast, which is closer to the coast. And that's why, because I looked at like a property in the real sketchy part of Belglade, and the rents were like 680.
Okay. No, I got the rents straight from the OM.
Yeah, the fact that it's 1,300 probably means that it's not in the really, really low income area, I'm guessing. Yeah.
And if
that's
that
a pretty
came
good
out of the
indication.
OM, you have to verify from an individual or a third party.
Yeah, I think you would still want to pull the rent roll to like actually see like that number, Harvey. But for the purpose of making an offer, it's fine.
Oh, the rent roll.
I did a zip code of Belglade, 2 different areas, and through Rentometer, and it came back at 650 and 1490.
Wow,
So
big difference in zip codes.
There are
So
some areas.
you were saying, Harvey?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. The rent roll is actually in the OM. This is
Perfect.
a rare OM, so they actually give the actual rent.
So you're really confident in this?
I'm confident on that. I wasn't sure, about the 48,000. That I wasn't sure how to factor that in.
Like that.
Thank you. And the cap rate, according to the website, whatever the one you
cap rate index.
Cap rate index goes 7.97. So in figuring that, the purchase price should be 3.7 million roughly, and they're asking 4.25.
Yeah.
So a little overpriced. So there's a little,
which is like incredibly common, right? They want a 6 cap, weird, and it's like should be a 7 cap.
Yeah.
But of course, so here's a really important distinction I want you guys to learn. So, let's make the down payment 100% over here. And so it zeroes out everything, right, for the loan. So basically there's no loan.
Are you in bank or the
I'm in the bank test.
Bank test.
So I want to make a cash offer where I'm going to bring 100% cash. And what is our goal is a 15% cash for cash return, right?
Mhm.
Really important lesson, because this helps you understand a concept. you could just use this number to back into what a 15% cash on cash number is, right? So would it be $2 million? And it's 15. I got pretty lucky. But, let's say I didn't get so lucky, I put in 2.5. And it's 12%. Okay, I could keep, or remember when it's a zero, when there's no financing, it's the same as a cap rate. So I could just simply take the NOI 367 268 divided by 0.15, and I would get my number to the penny.
That's for the purchase price?
That's for the purchase price of
I'm
2
sorry.
point. Go ahead, Harvey.
15 is where again? I'm sorry, from the 15%. Oh,
Well,
50. Okay, right. Sorry.
Our goal is 15%
sorry,
cash on cash return. There's no financing, so I'm buying it at a 15 cap. And this is a property that is probably a 6 or 7 cap per share. Like it would normally trades at a 7.5% cap rate, right? So when we're trying to get a 15% cash on cash return, that's insane. Like it's what we need to be able to raise money, but it's not what they want at all, which is why it's so hard to get a cash out scenario to work for most of these sellers because they want to sell at a 7 cap. Well, I'm going to borrow money at a 7.5 cap. Like I'm not winning by using leverage. Like I'm gonna go borrow at 7.5 to go and earn 7% back. How does that make sense?
Doesn't.
Right. So that's why it's so difficult to get bank terms to work. Now the interest rates are a little bit higher than what we've been used to the last 10 years. When interest rates were 3% and you made a 6% cap rate, great. There's margin, right? The leverage works to my favor. Right now, the leverage is not actually helping me. So that's why owner financing is so valuable because we can go create leverage.
Yeah,
Or a better way to put that, we can go create arbitrage.
yeah, and the feds came out yesterday saying that it doesn't look like interest rates are going to come down anytime soon.
No, there's no, I mean, the economy is not going the direction that the Fed wants, right? Like,
Exactly.
like you cannot make extreme plays with tariffs with our biggest trade partners and have
inflation coming back, prices going up.
right. That's only going to cause inflation to go up. Certainly in the near term. Like long term, could you win that game if you play that game long enough? Maybe, but that's not going to happen short term.
Yeah, and
So-
Diamond from JP Morgan or JP Chase, he came out and said that he wouldn't be surprised if interest rates climb back up into the 7 to 8 point in a couple of years. He said
Yeah.
18 months. So
Yeah, I totally agree, and I mean he certainly knows more than I do because that's all he
Exactly.
thinks about, right? He's spot on. It's like there is no prevailing force right now that would cause inflation to go down.
Nope.
Right. So that's the whole point of the Fed is to keep the jobs, the unemployment rate down and to monetize and to control inflation. All the forces at play right now are pushing inflation up, not down. So
and Trump ain't listening.
So two
No.
things on this real quick, and I know I don't want to take the time.
yeah, we have about 5 minutes.
I can make a lot of comments on what you just said, but I
I
won't.
have a couple of calls.
But so I would say to them, if I were to do this, I would say, hey, my payments to you, assuming this is right, would be 20 grand a month, 15 for your existing mortgage, 5 for the remaining financing. Correct? Is that the right way to say that?
Yep.
As a wraparound? Okay. All right. As a wraparound.
Yep. And what you're finding for Trump is that are they flexible? Are they open to some kind of structure where I'm making payments for them? Because if I'm trying to make your cash offer and cash you out, I'm at what we came up with like 3.2 or something,
3.2, yeah.
and they want 4.25. It's like
Yeah.
I can get to the 4.25, but we need you to be flexible. Are you flexible?
Flexible. And the reason we don't have to worry about the loan to value on the wraparound again was what you said. It was because it's like 95%. Why do we not have to worry
Well,
about that?
because this calculation is basing it off of this number, which is not factoring in the balance of the underlying mortgage
Okay. And this doesn't include my wholesaling fee too in here.
at all. Nope. Nope.
So I'd
But
probably
again, if you get a 15% cash on cash return, you can wholesale. So don't try and bake in your wholesale on the front end.
Okay. That was a mistake I was making. So
Yeah,
okay,
15% lets you bake that in.
got it. All right.
So
Cool.
let's, James has very politely had his hand raised for a while. I'm gonna get to him.
Thank you. Thank you.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead, James. He's trying to find his mute button.
They're just very simple questions, straightforward, easy
Mhm.
answers. When I look at our triple play and it explains the earnest money that we're going to provide.
Yeah.
One said 4,000, another said 5,000 down, and one said 16 and then 20. So what is typical for this?
It's what is common amongst what you'll see in the space when there's an earnest money deposit. It's very common for there to be a 1% earnest money deposit. We are trying to work against that assumption and move it way down, like 0.05% or less.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 4 or 5,000, putting it in the offer doesn't really matter. It's just we're below what most people want anyway.
Yes, and so it's not an absolute number; it's more of a percentage. So it's based on the size of your deal. If you're doing a duplex, it's going to be way less. If you're doing a 100-plex, it's going to be way higher. It's going to be a percentage, and we like to do we try and get to 0.05%, and then we want to do 0.01% up front, and then after due diligence, we'll bring in the rest, and that's when it all goes hard. And by going hard, it means it's non-refundable.
Right.
And that gives us that 45 to 9-day time period to do our thing, which is to find out if it's really a good deal, raise capital, figure out if we want to wholesale it or not, that thing.
Perfect.
And let's make it very clear, the whole philosophy of if your intention is to wholesale, that's fine, but find a good deal that you would want to buy if you had the money.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, this is not just to you, this is to the whole crowd, right? I want everybody to understand that we are not wholesalers that tie up properties with contracts with the hopes that somebody might come in and buy it. We're going and finding really good deals that are getting cash on cash returns of 12 to 15% that makes it really easy to raise capital or to sell our deal, right? Very, very, very important. Because I don't want us to be the people out there that give wholesaling a bad name because we're those people who are tying up contracts. We're tying up properties with contracts that we can never sell.
Yeah, totally agree. I always look at this as if I was going to present this to myself, would I buy it?
Exactly. And so you may not be the person that wants a RV park in Louisiana because you live in someplace else, right? But if I lived in Louisiana or I was an RV park guy, would I want to buy that property? Then yes, I would. That's the way you want to think about it.
Exactly. Second question, really quick. And this gets back to the spreadsheet, and it's just a personal thing. Our spreadsheet now gives us the ability to do owner financing and bank tests. Is it possible to duplicate that owner financing and make that as a second sheet so that we keep all the three options on one spreadsheet? Is that an easy thing for you, or is that a hassle and a half?
I know what you're asking, and I think I like your idea. So let me.
Oh, hallelujah.
So basically, having one kind of master spreadsheet that has it'd be similar to what Oliver's done. So you have the owner fund, or you have the cash offer, you have the second position, okay, sorry, cash
Option
offer,
1, 2, and 3.
Cash offer. Option 2 is it accounts for if there's an underlying loan or not, and then option 3 if it's free and clear.
Well, that would be great too. What I was really thinking is that option 2 and 3, we're always looking at owner financing.
Yep.
And if we had, like in the spreadsheet here, if you had, you could use option 2 as the one that I see on the thing, and then the same identical page on a different tab that I could keep and save without having to write over or open up a new file as option 3. Then if you want to do something where you have some underlying mortgage, that would be fine too. But I was wondering how simple it would be just to duplicate what we're seeing on the screen and has it as a second tab identical, just the way it is there.
So I like what you're thinking. one thing I have found with this is there's no way around when you go and look at a new property, what you should be doing is you should be going file, make a copy, and then rename this from template to property address.
And I
Like
do that.
you should be doing that every time. But like assuming once you do that, you want the first tab to be what again?
Yeah, I do that all the time. The first tab to be your, well, in this case, it would be option 2. And then
Yeah.
the next tab we can use as option 3. So it's all on one spreadsheet rather than what I do right now is I save it as a new name, Billings Storage, and then
Yep.
I'll save it again as Billings Storage 2, and that has my second owner option financing on it.
Okay, well, here's one way to solve that. You
Okay.
can do duplicate,
Okay.
and you can just do it like that.
Oh, I knew it'd be simple. That's all I want to do. You're perfect. Perfect.
So I'm
That's
gonna
what
And then
Yeah.
last question, I'll be really quick. Is there a form on our documents in our document center where we fill out the presentation to a possible investor for
Yep.
selling our deals? Is
Yep,
there?
I'll
Okay.
show you. That'll be the last question I can answer because I got to jump to our premiere. So jump over here. You go to Classroom,
Yeah,
Commercial Wholesale Secrets,
yeah. Down at the
and then you
document
scroll.
vault.
Yep, you go down to the document vault. Yep, and
What's-
then Deal Summary Template.
Okay, so that's the one we use to present to buyers.
Yep, and I mean make it your own, but that's a template to start with.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you very much. Those were my questions. Appreciate
You
it.
bet. And that probably is a really good time to put a pin in this because we're
you
about
got
to go.
1 minute.
We're about to go jump over here to, let me put a post in here for you guys. So here's the link to where I'm like, it's kicking off at 2 minutes. It's the premiere of my new YouTube channel and the first video out there. And the video is about 25 minutes long. And so you can jump right over there. And Ernest, if you like, just ask your question that you just asked over in the community. I have a pretty hard stop here to jump off of here. Ernest, and Paul, did you have something else? Other Paul, you had something?
No, I was just commenting about what you said to James about duplicating the tab.
Got it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, guys, grab that link, jump over to YouTube and watch it, and do me a favor and comment because that's what I'm trying to get us to do is to comment and basically tell YouTube that this is an amazing video, right? Honest feedback. See you guys.
Yeah.